Is cottagecore problematic? Cottagecore is an aesthetic that celebrates things like nature, slower lifestyles, and crafting. It's gained a lot of popularity in the last few years, and the trend forecasters predict society will trending towards escapism and simplicity. I'm going to discuss some of the critiques of cottagecore today, but to hopefully expand our perspectives on this aesthetic. My name is Isaias Hernandez, and this is Queer Brown Vegan. My platform is to bring you environmental education that's focusing on intersectional issues rather than ignoring them. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe because it helps grow my channel and bring you more educational content. Now back to cottagecore. We have rolling meadows, little cottages, floral dresses, the sounds of nature, baked goods, and picnics. Cottagecore is built on a romanticized version that has a simpler life, drawing inspiration from pastoral scenes and rural aesthetics. Media like Snow White, Call Me By Your Name, Kiki's Delivery Service, games like Animal Crossing, which I played the GameCube version, style that's cozy, whimsical, and feminine. So accessories with flowers, trees, or other cute forest animals, all showcasing other aspects of cottagecore. This is the positive, cheery nature of cottagecore, and I don't think that's what people have a problem with. One of the main concerns with cottagecore is its romanticization of rural life. While the aesthetics of lush landscapes and quaint cottages appeal to us, what most people aren't recognizing are the challenges that rural communities face. In the United States, rural communities, there's often lack of economic opportunity, limited access to education and healthcare, and environmental concerns like hog farms, petrochemical industries, waste incinerators. These are all realities that rural communities go through. Another problematic aspect is the lack of diversity within cottagecore community. The imagery is often associated with cottagecore trends to be Eurocentric. This lack of diversity can also inadvertently contribute to the erasure of other cultural perspectives and reinforce harmful stereotypes. It's important to celebrate diversity in our cottagecore enthusiasm because we know that our Animal Crossing communities are so diverse, yet a lot of y'all want to kick out the ugly visitor that moves into the Animal Crossing town and then say that you are all about diversity. Cottagecore for some may be a form of escapism, which we all do. It's a retreat into a simpler world. However, it's important to acknowledge the privilege that comes with this form of escapism. Not everyone has the luxury to disconnect from the challenges of the modern world. This privilege can perpetuate a sense of detachment from broader social issues that need our attention and engagement. During times of stress, we tend to learn more heavily into escapism as coping mechanisms, and cottagecore seems like a positive one, but a slower, greener world won't fall into our lap. And if we romanticize the past, how will we save what we have now? Isolation is a death sentence. For many of us growing up in a very heavily social media world, it's easy for us to say, I just want to go live in a forest. And I want to share a personal story about me living almost my cottagecore lifestyle. So in 2021, wow, it's almost been years now, I moved back to New Jersey, and I wasn't living in a forest per se, but I lived in a very big one-bedroom apartment that was very cottagecore themed. As you've seen in my past videos, it had high ceiling walls, it had hydrangeas in the backyard. Like, I loved that apartment. But one of the things I noticed is that I used escapism as a way to really not deal with a lot of the issues I was going. So I went foraging a lot on the weekends in the forest by myself. And, you know, in context, we may think it's so cool to go to the forest, go pick for mushrooms, go pick for berries, all of these things. But one thing that I was lacking is community. And I think that a lot of us sometimes think like we're ready to move out of the city, ready to move out of the stress. But in actuality, I was so lonely. I am an introvert now. I would say that I used to be a socially extrovert back then when I was younger, but then I got burnt out socially. But even if I'm an introvert, I will be honest, like I still need social connection. I still need to talk to humans around me. And I felt that living this lifestyle for what it seemed online made it seem like, oh, wow, you're near the forest, you have your own backyard, you have your home. But I'm like, but I'm sad. I don't have anyone around me. And I think it was so true for me to recognize that, because I think with cottagecore lifestyles, like, don't get me wrong, if I had 5-10 cottages of all my best friends down the same street, I would be so happy. My social life would thrive, my farming life would thrive, But cottagecore to me is often very separatist. It's very much like rooted in uniformity, or almost rooted in this separation from, yes, you're connected with nature, but disconnected with nature still. Because again, humans are nature. And I think that's where, for me, where I felt that cottagecore, when I see this imagery, I almost see these empty spaces, which to me, empty spaces can be so much more of not just ecological species or development. What I'm thinking is more about place-based relationships that we can do. So cottagecore to me was seen as a very interesting dynamic, because I felt that I really try to connect with it. And unlike gremlin core from another video that you probably watched, like gremlin core for me is more about maximalism instead of minimalism. And I feel like maximalism is something much more obtainable and also very sustainable in society, that actually recognizes all the weird things in life, but also the connection-based relationships are still there. To finish, I want to be clear. I don't think cottagecore is problematic, but want to approach this by acknowledging the potential problematic aspects. We can create a more inclusive, mindful engagement with the aesthetic without having to shame people for their personal preferences, but also encouraging a thoughtful and empathetic consideration of a broader social implications of the ways that we talk about cottagecore. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like this video, leave a comment for something that you'd love to learn. And what do you think about cottagecore? Do you feel like it's something that you identify with? There is no wrong for loving cottagecore. I also love it. I don't relate to it, and I think that's okay. That's just my personal preference, but I do think that everyone has the right to also validate themselves within a lifestyle.